All right, guys, we're winding down. This is the last of the 300 cards that I got back in that box from CGC. We're gonna go over the last 100, and don't be sad. I actually have like 90 more cards in a separate box that we'll go over after this. That submission was bulk with no subgrades, while these were obviously just bulk with subgrade stuff. Yeah, let's just get into it right away. This has been really fun, and I don't know, it's definitely just the case where when you submit cards and you wait this long to get them back, to finally unbox them and see their grades is that for me is the most exciting part of this hobby. Is just buying raw products and then grading them and then getting it back. Opening up the CGC boxes or P.S.A. or whatever, any company box, that's probably my favorite of it all, of the whole process. So Japanese Newbeck, you just see just dusty overall. Like Windex is just my solution for that. Charmander, shiny. You can't go wrong with the shiny Charmander. These cases also are nicer because they don't have scuffs on them, unlike the previous ones I did. A little bit of a break. This is Japanese Old Back. It's quite rough. You can see edge wear, corner wear there. Corners are all dinged up. I'm guessing, the edge. I'm guessing this is no rarity. Yeah, this is my no rarity Zapdos. I mention this every time I bring up no rarity, but you can see bottom right hand corner, it's missing a rarity symbol. And in that regard, it's considered like the first edition of Japanese base set. And that's one of those cards that has just gotten really expensive to replace. The price of raw copies has just gone up. So like, I wouldn't even know how to price that anymore because the cost of like acquiring a new copy for myself is too high. Lily, this is from that Lily Cosmog box. I spoke about this box like in the late winter, just because like it felt really undervalued as a promo. And since then it has spiked, but kind of settled back down. That's just the same case with the Zapdos, and even this Lily is this stuff has just moved up a lot in value for raw copies. And obviously when that happens, it becomes more difficult to reacquire and then regrade this stuff for new inventory. So for stuff like this, I wouldn't be opposed to just kind of sitting on it and pricing it kind of high, like the Zapdos and the Lily. I would be fine to just more or less sit on those for a while. But I guess we haven't seen any cards like that yet that are the contrary to that. Like this Marnie is another good example. Like this Marnie, I paid $30 a piece for this Marnie seal. This card is around like 120 raw now in Japan, which, you know, I've listed my 8.5s for less than that, I believe. So like, just the cost for me to reacquire one of these Marnies is so much higher than what they're actually going for graded that I'm not really in any rush to grade, to sell these graded. Like I'm fine to just sit on them. But I'm trying to hopefully we get it to a card that, like is contrary to that, so I can kind of make this point clearer. This card was really stupid of me to send in with subgrades. So I think at the time I was like, oh, amazing rares are really interesting. They're like a new form of rarity in Pokemon. You know, the art's really cool with the texture color splash, but I don't think I realized how many amazing rares were actually in the sets, because I think every Japanese box was guaranteed like 2 amazing rares. So like most Japanese stores have thousands of these cards for $2-3 a piece, and you're just competing with too many people who thought like, you know, similar to me at the time, just like, oh, I'll buy these cheap singles and grade them. So now that's like a $20 card, and the fact that I paid $5 for subgrades on a $20 card is just stupid. Another one, but that one, like this, I guess is an example of a card where the price is probably a little bit extreme on the low end. Because people are just trying to dump it. But when you realize like how many copies there are that you could, the fact that you can go and buy 1,000 copies of this card for $2 a piece, grade it with CGC for $12 a card. So your total cost into the card is around $15 with like shipping and everything, and still be able to sell it for $5 more than you paid, like all in for a card that's actually existing in that type of bulk is crazy. It is amazing to me. Like you're paying $15 to make $5 to make it 33%. which isn't that bad, but you know, the price might seem low, but you just realize how many people graded them and how many copies there still are available to be graded. And like, to be completely frank, all that pack fresh Japanese stuff, it's probably going to get 9. It's not like English where there's a lot more inconsistency with printing quality. This stuff is all fresh. I will say this one I noticed edge wear right there on the left and on the right, a little ding. But this somehow got quad 9. Like, I don't know. That's so weird to me. Like, that I'm noticing visible edge wear on these cards, but they're still just getting 9s. This is there's a couple names. This is like Leon's Charizard, but it's the one from Amazing Volt Tackle, Astonishing Volt Tackle English. It's just really nice. The hollow with Leon in the background. It's cool artwork. Let me move this 9 pile off. I hope if you're watching this, you might have checked out the website. I've pretty much been, every time I've done one of these videos, I've just been scanning in the cards right afterwards, just so I could get them all listed. And I'm not listing duplicates. I'm just going to do one of every card at a time. And as they sell, I'll relist the duplicate, which kind of hurts. I think the presentation of a Shopify, well, I can't list stuff with quantity. And the reason for that is just because it has subgrades. I guess we can use this as an example. Like, these 2 cards technically are both CGC 9 Charizards from Amazing Volt Tackle. But you could see the subgrades are completely different. And I'm not sure how much it affects people's decision to buy a card. Well, I could speak, I guess, anecdotally. There have been times that I've picked up CGC or even BGS cards. Like, I bought them off eBay specifically because they had strong subgrades. And that's just because, like, if you have 2 9s available on the market, or like 2 9 5s, any grade, I think it's just like the rational thing for people to be like, oh, I'll pick the one with stronger subgrades, because to me that feels like a stronger card overall. But just good. These are cheap slabs. Just I think it's good to have. I mentioned this before. It's good to have cheap Charizards. I thought this was on the case, but you could see, like, I wonder if that's on the card or was there beforehand. You can see like a pink dot right there. I don't know if that was beforehand or during encapsulation, but look how dusty that is. Oh my god, that's disgusting. It's not like it's like this is that bad. Okay, I will say too, it's dusty, and the worst part for me is the cardboard inserts in the boxes reek. It just smells so bad. 8 on surface, that kind of makes me think that was there beforehand, that pink dot. Let's see, these all look fine. Probably all the same card. Yeah, as I was just saying, like, I think cheap Charizard slabs are just really consistent to have. There's always going to be people who I actually watched a video like about this before, where this is a nice one, Misty's favorite floor, where someone was going over. It was like a Pokemon show. People just talking about, like, the values of graded cards. It was it was hosted by a friend of mine named Swami. Recommend his channel, but one of the guys mentioned on the show was that, like, he would just go on to random TikToks and ask people, what's your favorite Pokemon? And even if the people mentioned that they weren't into Pokemon right now, they still mention Pikachu, Charizard, which are obvious because they're like mascots for the brand. But that just goes to show you, like, no matter what, if someone comes into this hobby without knowing anything, they will know what Charizard is. They will know what Pikachu is. And to offer, like, I mean, this is good artwork. Especially if you've played the modern games, like, and you know who Leon is, you know his connection with Charizard. You see that card up, even in like a 8.5, maybe like an 8.5 for $30. You say, oh, well, that's not that bad. Especially because the cost of grading has gone up. It's actually not that. There's not much of a disconnect between buying a card raw and grading it yourself. Especially because this card is kind of expensive now. On American markets, I think it's like over a $5 raw card. Let's see. God, this is such a good card. I mentioned that the Professor Elms lecture was my favorite full art from Sun and Moon. This is easily up there too. I don't think this card gets kind of hyped up as much as it really deserves. It's just really nice Misty art, considering Misty is one of the the OG characters in Pokemon. These are all English. I think this is from a binder page I bought. And I pulled this card myself. Beauty CGC 8. This is crazy to me because if you remember what I mentioned for the amazing rares, How like I expect most of those Japanese cards to be in that near mid 9 area. This was a pack fresh English card, and just look at it. Like, look at those corners. It's nuts to me that this is like how this card was manufactured. Wow, that's awful. But I did pull this card myself. Oh, why is that there? I pulled that card myself on like a live stream, live with my friends, and I decided just to get encapsulated. This is more English, but like, I don't know. There's another school of thought too that this is. I've heard people talk about this with P.S.A. Is the back of P.S.A. The back of new back Japanese. Sorry, like I'm tripping over my words. The back of old back Japanese is a lot harder to notice edge wear on because it's a lighter color. It's like that gold. But on English cards or any cards that have this back, you can see it's that navy dark blue, kind of similar to old back Japanese, and you really pick up on color breaks on the blue. It's almost like with dark color comic books, how you notice the wear a lot more. 7.5 Shining Ho-Oh. This card's really rough. I do think this is a good card to buy in high grade just because there's so much, the packaging, there's so much wrong with how English Pokemon is produced. The quality of manufacturing is so bad that the cards pack fresh are 8, and the other issue is how they package promos is so awful that cards fresh from the promo sleeves are getting 6s on surface just because they're not packaged with any care. 8.5 Charizard V. This is the same exact thing with those Leons. Super cheap card. If you can buy these like raw for like a cheap price, I think go for it. It reminds me a lot of those the Ancient Mew. How this is just a card that I think you could perpetually make a small margin on graded just because it looks nice. It's produced in availability, abundance, and you know, it kind of just, as I said, taps into people want cheap Charizard and they know what Charizard is. This is that Vivid Voltage, that same exact one that we saw, but this is the cracked Ice Hollow from the theme deck. I maybe would grade more of these if I could buy them in bulk for a cheap price. This is a really nice one. Hound Doom. I picked this up. I bought a binder page on eBay. This is similar to, actually there's a couple cards here that probably should have been graded without subgrades. But you gotta remember too, when I sent this stuff in, it cost me less, like I think right around $12. Right around $12 all in with subgrades. And that's what it cost me now with no subgrades. So at the time, this seemed like a fine card. I mean, that's just beautiful artwork. Amazing by Rita. Over here. Let's see. This one doesn't look awful. 7.5. Oh, I'm so goddamn stupid. I didn't even realize this was not English. This isn't an English card. God, oh my god. Damn, so this is slabbed incorrectly. This is, because the name itself is in English. Well, the name is the same. Oh, this is, I think, I'm probably wrong here. This is either like Spanish or Portuguese. Now, P.S. is Spanish, I think. I think P.V. is Italian. Wow, no wonder CGC messed up the label, because I couldn't figure out. I thought this was just a base set unlimited card, but it's also base. Okay, this is a base set unlimited Alakazam. CGC labeled it base set 2, so it has the wrong set code to begin with, but it's not even the right language. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I didn't notice that before I sent it in. But that is one of those cards I got from the binder page with that Hound Doom. It's like, I didn't think that the person would just have a random non-English card. And this is the main card that I got on that binder page. Just Venusaur, Legendary Collection, amazing card. That hollow is nuts. More cards. Shibuya Pikachus. I don't know, these, this is something else. These types of cards they talked about kind of briefly in that same video I just mentioned with Swami, is the rise of Pikachu promos. Partially because there's a lot of Pikachu collectors out there. He's a fan favorite. But I do also, I'm a believer that I think a large part of the market didn't know how nice Japanese promo cards were. Like a large part of the Western market hadn't caught on to that yet. Oh, yeah, so that's why the stuff, Shibuya and stuff has gone up. This is an example of a card where I think the price right now is very fair where it is. People complain like, oh, people are just dumping this card, which is true. There's a lot of people selling Kanazawa Pikachus, but at the same time, like those Kyogre Amazing Rares, like the amount of, if you were to just go on Yahoo Japan or Mercari, you could buy tons of these for around $15 a piece. Grade that for $15 with CGC, $30 in. You're still making over double your money in a 9, and just think like most of these Japanese promos are 9s, just because the printing and quality control is really good there. See, 3 9s in a row. So like, yeah, sure, the card seems kind of cheap now, but like, it's actually so cheap to reproduce and get more copies. And people have to realize that when you speculate on cards and value them, like if the card is abundant raw overseas, that will impact the price, the actual highs the price can go for in the US market. All right, I hate if it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but like these cardboard inserts they use really smell. They're very it's a very powerful odor from them. It reminds me, it's like if you have it's not wet, like, okay, the cardboard's obviously dry when they package it, but it's that wet cardboard smell. Like if you leave cardboard out on the side of the road and it rains and then you smell it, like that's what that odor feels like. And then just look at that layer of dust on the card. Victory medals. I know we opened some in the past in like one of the other boxes, but this is probably just the rest of them. I kind of am beating myself up with how many I have of these cards, and they don't sell often. Like, to be frank, like they're not. These do sell pretty frequently, and they sell for a lot of money in PSA 10. But just my luck with CGC, these are probably all 8 5s and 9s. And you could probably make the case that if you compared the skins for my PSA, my CGC 9s and my PSA 10, like a PSA 10, they might be pretty similar. Playing in the Sea, it's a cool one, just a homage to Surfing Pikachu with a new, kind of like a modern rendition of it all. 9-5. I'm not really sure what my 251 Shining Pack means on the label. I guess like that's something that I do like about CGC a lot, is how detailed those labels are. I mean, everyone knows, if you look at any PSA card at this point, you know how much they compress the information on the labels to make it fit. But CGC just, for all of the stuff that I've ragged on them with grading and the packaging, their label still really, to me, just stands out above the rest. Like, look how much information is there. Like, if this card was PSA, maybe I'll throw up a picture, maybe not. You probably have like half the amount of text on the label. But you look at this label, you can accurately see it's a Sun and Moon promo. You can maybe tell that by the set code, but it's nice to have it explained. And the fact that it's from the 7-Eleven Pikachu 2018 special set. It makes collecting these cards really easy because you know exactly what the card you have is. And at the same time, it makes listing to sell that card really easy because you don't have to guess what the card is. Like, you don't have to kind of make up a title that fits the card. Pikachu Hollow 7-Eleven, you have exactly how it was, how it is on Bulbapedia on the label. I think that's really cool. So I always give points for them. And then obviously you give points for how clear these cases are. That's still probably my favorite thing about CGC card cases, is that clarity. And there's also like a weight to them. These are really thick. Oh my god. These are way thicker than PSA. Way thicker than their old ones, old CGC slabs. But there is like you do feel like it's a premium product with CGC cases, at least. More victory medals. Oh, the sun just got blocked, so the lighting will dip in quality. Oh, 9-5, this is a cool one. Charizard EX from the starter pack. So this is like kind of an anecdote, and I want to talk about this here. I did a claim sale on Facebook and I threw up one of these in a 9, and then a Charizard Illustrator promo, the 143, the pack purchase promo from Sword and Shield. And a guy wanted to buy one Charizard for me, either that or this one. And he had asked me, like, okay, just level with me. I'm in it for the money. Which one do you think will go up the most in value? And we ended up settling on the 143, the pack purchase promo. And in hindsight, I'm not really sure if I agree with that, just because, I mean, obviously this isn't the best art. I do like it. I think I might be in the minority there for Charizard collectors, but it is nice art. It's from Japanese set that's out of print now. You can maybe make the case that card has the most room to grow just because it's not being printed anymore. It's definitely, I don't think there's that many being graded for this card as well. It's not a very popular card. So if you think about it that way, there's just less of a population to run on. There's less available for sale. Wow, it's such a good card. Like, look at that texture you get on the fire. Really cool. Whereas the 143S-P, you probably have hundreds of those being graded. Actually, I know this is a fact. You have hundreds entering the population from P.S.A. every day. So that card probably won't see any significant rise in value for a long time just because the supply is constantly being increased to meet demand. Wow, we had like, almost like I had a moment of dyslexia. I couldn't even read the label. Let me reset this pile of 9s. I've just realized too, this whole submission, like the past 100 cards we've gone through, I like this Blastoise. People don't like it, but he looks a little derpy, but it's enjoyable art. I just realized like the 8.5 and 9.5 pile, I haven't swapped them out. I've just let them grow naturally. But the 9 pile, I have to keep resetting because I just get too many and it piles up too high into frame. It blocks out the 9.5s. 9. This one's cute. This is a card that, similar to those full arts in February, I mentioned I was buying them just because the English value of the hyper rares had gone up. Since then, this card has definitely just come down from those February prices. But Blastoise, I spoke to a friend about this. And this is actually what I noticed from that same claim sale that I did. I had people message me just about, oh, do you have any Blastoise slabs? And the main, like, I guess this is like if you ever want to sell cards, what I can recommend is the cards that I got asked for the most, like the graded Pokemon that I was asked for were people wanted Blastoise slabs, they wanted Lugia slabs, and they wanted Mew slabs. So since then, I've purchased a lot more Blastoise cards, a lot more Lugia cards, and when I can, I buy Mew. But Mew's a little tough because Mew didn't really have like nice cards per se. It really just had like holo rares, while Lugia had full arts, Lugia had secret rares. A lot more for Lugia and Blastoise. Yeah, hopefully when the new, I think it's Fusion Strike set comes out, I'll purchase a lot more Mews just to kind of meet that demand. That's why why I'm happy with those Blastoise. And that's like the recent cards that I've done online of raw singles. I've just been buying Blastoise, lots of Blastoise, lots of, not lots, a lot less, but some Venusaur. Because obviously people know Charizard is popular. I keep mentioning how he's like a staple of the hobby, but you do have a lot of fans of the other two starters. And at the same time, like, I mean, obviously you have fans of the last forms, but you have a lot of fans of the base form. So that's why you saw me with the Charmander shiny. The problem is, it's just like Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, they're popular, but they don't really have good cards to grade, per se. Like, if you look, oh my god, this 9 pile I have to reset already. If you look at like the final form, the final evolution forms, they have holo rares, they have secret rares, they have alternate arts, they have full arts. They have a lot of different cards that you can buy that have them on it. But Bulbasaur, like the first forms and even the second forms, it's really just commons and uncommons. Wow, this is like, my talking has nothing to do with this submission, this return. Oh, really nice, Whitney. But, you know, if you do want to look into it, my recommendation, I want to go for is, there's 10th anniversary promos done by Yukimori, the clay style for the 3 starters. And then there's also the Ditto cards. The Ditto cards where he's the 3 different starters. He's just with Pikachu Ditto. Those are a little bit more expensive. Those are just a set card. But I recently saw a sale where those cards in 10 broke like $500 a piece in the starters, which is crazy to me. I really like this one. This card is really similar to that Whitney. Oh, not Whitney. That Misty I showed earlier. The Misty's Favor with the hearts. Really cute artwork. And this is another card. I'm surprised more people don't talk about this Whitney card, considering how cute the artwork is. Really taps into the waifu market. And the fact that, Whitney is a popular trainer from Gen 2, like, I think everyone knows Whitney's Miltank. Like, yeah, I think that's it. Like, everyone remembers getting clapped by Whitney's Miltank with Rollout. I think it was Rollout. I still have absolutely no clue who this person is. Kahili? I think they're from Generation 6 XY. Is that Gen 6? But yeah, I never played those games, so I have absolutely no clue who this person is. I just realized that the full art felt very cheap. And this is probably my favorite of the waifu cards that we're going to go over. Maybe tie with Misty's, just Mars. And this card, maybe still more of like a long play for me, just the fact that we have the Diamond and Pearl remakes coming out. And obviously Mars is one of the 3 like head members of Galactus under Cyrus. You're probably going to see her very often in the game. And who knows if that actually drives interest, but I mean 9/5s in this card are great. I have yet to sell one though. I think I standarded some. I don't think they've sold yet. But getting them in bulk means that my actual cost is significantly lower. All right, that's it. That was it for 300 cards back. I will do the next 90 cards in the upcoming days. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this type of video. It's much more of me just rambling as I show cards in the background, and then every now and then I will talk about what you see on screen. But I've enjoyed this a lot more. It's a lot more enjoyable than me just talking about every single card. All right, thanks for watching, and if you see anything you like, remember, IOcollectibles.com has kind of soft launched. Link will be in the description and probably on the screen. Have a nice one.